Everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. So I know, we saw the Resident Evil crossover event. We saw, all of that announcement stuff. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about, honestly. I think that's just a catalyst to actually have me talk about what it is that I've actually tried my best to suppress, but it's just not working. Now, first of all, I have to say this. I have no inside information on whatever the heck it is Massive is doing. I don't know anybody on the inside. I just try my best to interpolate basically from deductive reasoning from past events and past occurrences to try to put together a framework for what this studio might be planning. And I think I came up with something that I tweeted about in a cryptic way, but I tried not to say anything because I'd made some speculations in the past few days. But with this announcement, I mean, it's only natural that I come out here and start to just rant. So just give me a moment of your time, and I think I'll kind of carry us from that place of what the heck is this studio doing to, it's more than likely that this is what they're going to do. So this is my goal for this video, okay? Now, let's start from a little bit back. So they announced a Star Wars game. Everybody said it seems like they've checked out of The Division. A bunch of us content creators made a maybe not videos. We kind of informed or speculated around the community. People had mixed feelings and all that. And then out of nowhere, there's an event saying, oh, we're going to be teaming up with Resident Evil. Then there is all kinds of mixed, feelings in the community. Some people are saying this is a joke, more apparel events and blah, blah, blah. But if we take a step back, we're going to see that this pattern has actually shown itself before. They did an announcement one time close to the end phase of the Division 1. And in fact, they actually said, we're going to be bringing these new seasons. And people said, come on, what the heck is going on? And then they even said, we're not going to be supporting the Division 1 anymore. Do you guys remember that before they brought out the peers and everybody freaked out? I mean, the community went berserk. So think about this. If they're not as transparent as they used to be, I think we may have conditioned them, to that effect. I mean, you can't blame them. If they bring out the information and say, yo, guys, we really don't want to bring out any year 3 content. We just want to kind of like just bring out all these seasons still. The next game, many people will flip out. They will do it. So I think being secretive seems to be a better formula for this studio. It's not the most convenient, especially now that, games have been delayed. All of this stuff, it'll be nice, but the community has generally changed, so I think we have to go with the new flow of things. Also, we got to look at the hierarchical structure of both studios. Hierarchical is a word. I literally Googled that thing. It's crazy. And if you think about who is developing your video games, producing it and directing it, I think it'll give you a little bit more clarity. So let me kind of set this up. In the movie world, there's something that we do. We look at our, directors, we look at our movie producers, and we know who they are. In fact, they're iconic people in the movie world, the movie industry, We don't really think too much about the camera guys and, the lighting folk. We just think about the director, George Lucas, Christopher Nolan, James Cameron, Martin Scorsese. These are iconic names where if they're making a movie, even if they're making a movie of people basically playing jump rope, we're like, Martin Scorsese is making a jump rope movie. We go there and we were just interested, right? But in gaming, I've noticed that, it's an entity that many of us spend multiple hours, more hours than movies actually engaging in. But many of us don't even really know who makes or creates or directs our video games. And so I wanted to go ahead and kind of place this in front of us so that this might actually help inform the community as to how this game is going to be proceeding. So let's start off from Division 1. The Division 1 was actually headed by the creative director named Magnus Jensen. He basically shipped the Division 1 his vision with the help of the team and the hard work and sweat of the team at Massive, who had been working on this concept for a long time. And at the time that the game was shipped, he had an associate director. Now, I don't really know what the associate director's job is. Massive may have to actually, to find out. Maybe you can look on the LinkedIn of associate directors at Massive and see what their job title is or what their descriptions and job entails. And his associate director at that time was Julian Garrity. Magnus Jensen basically shipped the Division 1. According to news and rumors, we heard that they immediately started another team that was working on the Division 2 the moment the Division 1 launched. Now, nobody knows who that was made up of, but it eventually came out that Julian Garrity was the creative director of the Division 2. Basically, kind of still technically is, and he was able to ship the game. So his vision, his understanding of what the community wanted from the Division 1, and his own implementation, basically based on vision, input from the other people on the team. And so that's why you have a slightly different Division game. And there have been rumors, people who did Division 1 have left and blah, blah, blah. That is not entirely true because Magnus Jensen is currently now the creative director of Avatar. So guess what? For those of you who are Division 1 aficionados who have said we don't care about an Avatar game, I don't know how else to tell you that you're most likely going to care, because the guy that made the game that you love is literally making that Avatar game. Call it what you want. If he takes any of that creative craftiness that he took from the Division 1 to Avatar, I think I'm going to see you there. I don't know. Maybe you may not show up in Avatar, but now that you've heard, perhaps this might change your mind about the game and you might look at it differently. Not saying it's going to be like Division 1, but it's like saying, oh, Christopher Nolan directs this movie that's not Batman, and every Christopher Nolan person is like, I got to see that to see for myself, even though they may not like it, even though they may not be concerned, but just because they understand the creativity of the person who had shipped the movie that they enjoyed in some sense, many will check it out. I think this is something that happens when you understand and kind of figure out who's making your games. And so Julian Garrity basically shipped our Division 2 game. Yes, a lot of mixed feelings in the community. I'm not going to lie. I've been at the burnt end of some of them because I enjoy some of the changes and I've enjoyed some of them over the course of the game. But at the same time, there are still people who have the preferences of the first game. Nothing wrong with that. I've always said the preference is fine. If we're fighting about who loves Division 1 and Division 2, we're still in a good place. But guess who his associate director was in the time the Division 2 shipped? And at this current time, it's Yannick. Yannick is still at the studio, has been showing up in State of the Games, been making announcements. Watch the Ubisoft Forward event where Project Codename Nightmare was actually announced. It was Yannick who was making the announcement. And I remember Julian Garrity also making announcements for future content coming to the Division 1 at that time. And I'm sure at that point he was directing and making sure the Division 2 was going good in production. I can almost say that I can bet you maybe 25 cents. I'm not a betting person. Betting it just always falls against me. So let's throw 25 cents out there as kind of a bet that Julian Garrity right now, being on the Star Wars game, has most likely handed over the keys of production of the Division franchise to Yannick. And Yannick may be, more than likely, that's why I'm putting 25 cents on it, that Yannick may be the creative director for the next Division entry based on this hierarchical structure and the moves within the studio. So what we're probably going to be seeing is we're going to be seeing announcements. We're going to be seeing more communication with the community. I think they were wanting to bring something to the table before they actually showed up for a State of the Game. So this apparel event and the next State of the Game is going to be very big. All the proponents and all the haters of Division are going to be watching. They're going to be waiting, man. They're going to be like, oh, what's going on? And I think we're going to see some kind of an announcement, but I don't think that it's going to be a Division 3 announcement. I don't think it's going to work that way. I think it's probably going to maybe move on. But with the way the world is going right now, they may not want to keep their fans waiting. They may have other games that may be competing with the Division for its audience. Outriders, I'm looking at you. And so they may make some sort of an allusion or some sort of announcement towards maybe a Year 3 content or maybe a Division 3 content. But we really don't know, honestly. And in my opinion, I think that Massive now being a AAA studio of multiple games will probably be happy to be able to take on multiple projects as well. I read a comment also on the channel where somebody said that the CEO of Massive Studios, I can't remember his name, said that Massive has now become a 3 AAA studio. So basically they have 3 AAA franchises under their belt, basically 2 in development that we know of, and 1 obscure cryptic one maybe somewhere, and that might be a Division 3 game or the next entry into the Division franchise. So I thought I'd put all this in front of you here in the community based on this new development and announcement. I did not want to say any of this. I wanted to just keep this to myself for a little bit, but you never know. I mean, this might be the direction that we're going, and it's not like it's not something that hasn't happened before. It's something that happened right in front of us. Transition of production, movement to other projects, changes within the studio, and just handing over the keys to people who have already learned and have basically worked and served in those systems. And I have to say, I have a lot of confidence in Yannick personally as a Division player because I've seen him in the State of the Games. If anybody knows how this community will tick, I think Yannick will most likely be that person. So we can hold him accountable if he's the person that's going to do it. We know how he works. We know how he does his announcements. You're not getting a stranger that's making your Division game. You're getting somebody that you can basically send a tweet to say, yo, what's going on on this, weapon or on this stuff. So it's not like an inaccessible type deal. This is why I like The Division. We have some sort of an open line of communication, some sort, with the developers of this game. Not many games have this, and it's a big risk because they're personal. These are people. They have personal lives, and sometimes they just don't want to, deal with a lot of minor issues because it's still a video game. Don't get me wrong, it's a game, but I can see how they've put themselves out there and they've been able to build a community. Rough relationship, don't get me wrong, but still a community where everyone is still open in the channels of communication. We're still talking. I'll talk to y'all later. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video. Peace out.